to there, my name's Lave, and this week I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. So let me just start off by saying that I wasn't really a fan of the 2014 reboot. I know it wasn't directed by Michael Bay, but it had his fingerprints all over it. It just felt like one of the Transformers films. And I know the general consensus was that they got the Turtles right in that, but it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film! The plot wasn't really very interesting. I didn't buy Megan Fox as April O'Neil. They made Shredder a Transformer. And most of all, it just wasn't really as fun as I thought it should have been. So it's safe to say I wasn't excited about this film. I wasn't in a rush to go and see it in the cinema. But I have to say, I kind of enjoyed it. Ugh. Before I go any further, this is going to be a spoiler talk video, so if you haven't seen it, stop watching the video now. Particularly if you haven't seen the third trailer, definitely stop watching it now. Okay, so this film picks up directly where the last one left off. Shredder's in prison, the Turtles are still out and about but still hiding in the shadows. Will Arnett is back again as Vern, and they've toned him down in this one. He's not so much of a sex pest, but he's still a douche. But the Turtles have made an arrangement with him and that they're giving him all of the credit for taking down the Shredder. And they're kind of regretting it, but he's milking it for all it's worth. He's now called the Falcon. Megan Fox is back as April O'Neil, and let's not beat around the bush, she's purely there for eye candy. So April is investigating Baxter Stockman, played by Tyler Perry, and in the trailers they really make out that he's playing a real goofy scientist. He's not goofy all of the time, but he's still a bit of a dick. He's working on this plan to break out Shredder from jail, and it's in this jailbreak sequence that you meet Bebop and Rocksteady, played by Sheamus and Gary Anthony Thomas. I really like them, but more on them in a minute, because it's revealed that Baxter is actually working with Krang. Shredder, we must get to the Technodrome. Oh, I liked him too. Ugh. So I've got to say, I'm a child of the 80s, and growing up in the 90s, I was a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as evidenced by these very embarrassing photographs. Me and my mates were crazy about it. I had all of the toys, and we were all about turtle power. So subjectively speaking, and through my very nostalgic eyes, I actually quite enjoyed the first hour of this film. It felt like one of the episodes from the 90s cartoon, and I loved the 90s cartoon. These were my turtles. And it's very clear that the director Dave Green is very much using that as his source material. There's a point where Bebop or Rocksteady says to Shredder in prison, "Hey man, I'm a fan of your work, particularly your early stuff." I think the most important improvement that he has done from the reboot is that he has made it more turtle focused. I know it's been done in every other turtle incarnation, but the tension between Raph and Leo is there, but it's heightened by the fact that Leo finds out that Donatello can mutate them into humans, and he keeps it from Michelangelo and Raphael. Leo's also struggling to form a team out of them, even though they're his brothers, they're not a team. There's even a part where they're revealed to the police, and Michelangelo is reflecting later on, saying that they weren't even scared of us, they just hated us. What can I say? I quite like those scenes, and not only that, they do have a lot of fun as well. Michelangelo easily steals the show, but then on top of that, you've got Bebop and Rocksteady, and they are a lot of fun. They're exactly like the cartoon. So before you think that I'm saying that this is the best film ever, objectively speaking, there are a lot of flaws. Firstly, the script is pretty weak and full of needless exposition. You can't avoid that, but then it is a kid's film. Secondly, I didn't really like Arrow's Stephen Amell as Casey Jones. I didn't like the changes that they've made to his backstory, and I don't think that he's a very good actor. I think he's very wooden. My name is Oliver Queen, and I'm going to save my city without emoting anything. And thirdly, while the plot does remind me of an episode of the 90s cartoon series, it isn't very inventive. And I could say the same about a lot of the set pieces. It does feel like I've seen a lot of them before. For example, Bebop and Rocksteady's transformation scene is straight up the Incredible Hulk. Shredder's prison escape scene is a copy and paste from Fast and the Furious. The third act, when the Technodrome is being teleported onto Earth, reminded me of Transformers, never a good thing. And the final showdown between the Turtles and Krang is exactly the same as the last one, which itself was a rip-off of The Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, not very inventive, but the first hour and a half is okay. So that's my thoughts on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, and pause the video now if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker. So here's the deal, I think that I went into this film with incredibly low expectations, and it is an improvement on the last one, maybe slightly, but the the nostalgia factor tipped it over for me. There were bits that I did quite enjoy, I have to be honest. If you're a fan of the 90s cartoon too, then give it a go. You might quite like it. Just go in with an open mind. Yeah, cowabunga. So thanks very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Either way, tell me in the comments. I like turtles. Subscribe.